For me, this election is about one simple thing. Who in the Republican Party is going to take the fight to the 9 Chicago Democrats who control $70 billion worth of government and 125,000 public sector jobs and who have destroyed Illinois' economy? Who is going to hold them accountable for what has happened on their watch? Who is going to make them defend systems that they don't want to defend? Systems that they are in charge of and they do not want to defend? And who is going to present that clear contrast, conservative reform agenda for what Illinois could be, where we could go as a state if we pursued market-oriented system change reforms with respect to all of the big ticket systems in state government, every single one of which is financially unsustainable in its current form. The opportunity and the challenge that the Republican Party has in this state in this year is to provide constructive form to the anger and frustration that people who play by the rules in this state and who have been gamed by the system rightly feel for what has gone on. We need to do two things. We need to define a constituency. The Chicago Democrats know who their constituency is. They are the public sector unions and state dependents, and they have proven over and over again that they will do whatever it takes to finance that constituency. There is no tax too high, there is no regulation too stringent to finance their constituency. The Republican Party needs to be similarly focused about our constituency, the people who play by the rules in this state, the folks who budgeted for the home they bought and pay their mortgage on time, but are still on the hook for the irresponsible actions of others, the folks who have seen their 401ks take a 50% hit or worse, but are still on the hook to pay for multiple public pensions for the politically connected. The small business owners of less than 100 employees who create 95% of the jobs in this state, who don't get bailed out when they make a bad strategic decision or suffer bad luck in the marketplace. Who speaks for the people who play by the rules in this state? I'll tell you what, this party better. We better have nominees that speak for those folks if we want to win elections in 2010. And it's not just speaking for those folks rhetorically. How you fight for people who play by the rules, how you defend the interests of people who play by the rules in this state is to get the policy choices right. Tax and spend policies right. The policies that drive our business climate and have driven it into the ground. Opposing tax increases, not enough. Without the Quinn, Madigan, Hines tax increases, in the last year, Illinois has lost 285,000 private sector jobs. Public sector headcount, status quo. We need to cut taxes on productive activity like work and investment. And I'm the only candidate with a specific plan to do that. Cut the income tax by 50%, cut the corporate income tax by 50%, eliminate the state estate tax. On the spending side, in the last 10 years, we have increased state spending by 8 times the rate of population growth. We have a spending problem in state government, not a revenue problem. If you want to get off this manufactured hamster wheel of annual budget crises, you restrain the public sector from crowding out private sector investment. That means imposing statutory spending caps, only allowing for year-over-year spending growth equal to population plus inflation. That's it. Tax cuts and spending caps. That's how you grow a state. And if you don't believe me, believe Mitch Daniels. Mitch Daniels in Indiana did 2 things. He slowed the rate of state spending growth. He reformed that state's property tax system to lower the burdens, to lower the cost of doing business. In the last 2 years, Indiana has brought $15 billion worth of direct foreign investment into that state. 2 new auto manufacturers, a new Nestle plant, businesses that would have been much better sited in Illinois, transportation hub of the Midwest, manufacturing base of the country. But those companies look at Illinois and they say, are you kidding me? I am not going to deal with that political culture and I can't make my numbers work. So it's not just businesses and families that are fleeing this state like it's on fire. It is also the opportunity costs we pay for bad public policies that drive businesses and families out of Illinois. Our opportunity in this year, in this state, is to speak with moral...
Leading by example on ethics. I have sponsored the only major ethics changes in the state of Illinois in more than 25 years. I also have never had a Springfield fundraiser, because I believe it's wrong to have a lobbyist at your fundraiser on Monday night and have them in your office or before a witness table on Tuesday morning. And I have always conducted my career both as Jim Edgar's Chief of Staff and as a legislator with the highest ethical integrity. And I will lead by example on ethics. And therefore, I will return integrity and decency and civility to the governor's office, which I think will make you proud to be an Illinoisan again, so you don't have to wear a bag over your head when you cross over to the Indiana border. But most importantly, we're going to get this economy moving, we're going to improve the state of Illinois, and that in turn improves the Republican Party. So I'm a good bridge to the future at age 53 or 54. Got a lot of young supporters working for me, and we are going to return this state to economic greatness, ethical greatness, and in return, the Republican Party will take over the state of Illinois again, and our people will be much better off. Again, JC, thank you for what you do. Thank you for helping the Republican Party in any way you can. And things are looking great, and we are going to win in 2010. Thank you.
Robert Enriquez is running for Secretary of State. He is unopposed in our primary. He will be the first Hispanic on a statewide ticket for either Democrat or Republican. This is a big, big time for the Republican Party. Please help embrace him. The other gentleman that's running for the Attorney General, he is unopposed in our Republican primary, and he's going to take on Lisa Madigan. And he knows how hard of a race he's going to have against her. His name is Steve Kim. Steve Kim came to the United States of America with his grandparents when he was 3 years old. He is an American. Steve Kim was on Jim Edgar's staff, head of Asian Affairs. He is Korean American. He speaks fluent Korean. When Steve Kim goes to the Asian community in the metropolitan part of this state and the pockets of Asians around the state, he will be the first Asian ever to be on the statewide ticket for either Democrat or Republican. This man is running as a Republican. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get done nominating outstanding individuals for the United States Senate, for governor, lieutenant governor, we're also going to have the chance for the first time to bring ethnicity and diversity to the Republican ticket. And I think that's a great thing. How about you? All right, now all that being said, I'm going to talk about what I think at the moment is an important race to look at, and that's mine. I am running for Illinois State Treasurer. It's an open seat. The current State Treasurer, I believe, will be the Democratic nominee and face one of these men that are running for the United States Senate. It's an open seat. We have no primary opponent. I am going to be our nominee for Illinois State Treasurer, and with all your help right here in Richland County, I'm inviting you right now, put it on your books. January 2011, I'm going to stand there in the Prairie Capital Convention Center, raise my right hand, take the oath of office for State Treasurer, and we're going to have one heck of a party afterwards. You're all invited. Thank you very much for your help. Have a good evening.
But just last week, the first township to endorse in Cook County chose me as their nominee with a consensus vote in the endorsement of the Elk Grove Township. And just today, we got information that the second township to endorse in Cook County, Barrington Township, endorsed us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We are going to win this election, and we're going to win it by working the entire state. We're going to represent the entire state, and we're going to take the values of the Republican Party to the people of Illinois. And we're going to start by building a base within our party, and we're going to reach out to independents and Democrats. But it's going to be important that we give them value. It's going to be important that we talk about why we're pro-life. It's going to be important we talk about why we believe in the Second Amendment to the Constitution. It's going to be important to talk about why we believe that taxpayers are better off with their money in their pockets than in the government's pockets. That's what our message is about. We are going to give the Democrats, we are going to give the people of Illinois a clear distinction between what Republicans stand for and what Democrats stand for. We are the party of less government, personal responsibility, and more freedoms than they are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a chance in 2010 to turn this state around. And I know that you're here today because you're as fired up as Nancy and I are about that. I want to thank you for the support and the friendship you've given me, but I want to ask you to go to the extra mile. We've got a primary in February, and then we've got to go on to a general election in November. We need every ounce of energy every one of us has to go on and make sure that we build the strongest Republican Party in this process, and we convert independents and Democrats to our way of thinking. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. God bless you all.